June 29th, 2020, 11:28 a.m. Apparently, everybody in the house except for my mom's gone. They're running a lawnmower somewhere around here. Right after some sexual harassment at the minimum. Well, there's been this whole. I'm not from here. It's Colorado Springs, Colorado, 7270, right off of Shawnee Drive, Palmer Park. But I have heard of this place. My family's been here quite a bit, but I've heard of this place from Liberty Place Apartments, Columbus, Ohio. So, I am kind of familiar with the situation here. I'm laying here on the couch. Huh, someone did open both windows. I didn't know that. But the sexual harassment occurred into a certain amount of situation that turned into me waking up and then a uh, lawnmower being ran. Like fresh cut grass. What up? What up, buddy? Only person here in the house is my mother, supposedly, for right now. Which I wouldn't doubt be psychologically enough to fucking sexually harass at the minimum in the most violating way in my sleep. We don't have to respect you, bro. Starting to hear shit on the street, playing my brother off as a gang leader, uh, drug dealer, and the same old shit that I've already put on the internet. No, there is no understanding of why I came out here. And I'm sure Ohio Mental Health and those who stepped out in the street to help me are going to question at least some of them. And the ones that don't understand what's going on completely in my life, question why I made the decision to come out here. And in a good way. It's in a good way to question it, not condemning, scolding me. It's also questioning medical health care. It is questioning the liability of, say, an implant or something that's been messed up with myself. I'll talk about that later. And the misuse of that, brainwashing type of shit with it. And having techniques of hypnotic suggestions, brainwashing techniques, gaslighting, and everything else. The people across the street, they keep utilizing that's our connection, so they're playing around with drugs. This is the first time it happened to me, for the most part, here in Colorado Springs in a month and almost a half. So I'm being told and scolded like a fucking imbecile, dependent. Now I'm working with mental health and everything else because everybody's wondering what the fuck is going on. Hearing fucking asinine tones from across the street named English. Yup, yup. What up, dog? Fucking dick ass piece of shit associated. Now it's getting into, I wouldn't doubt that they would allow human trafficking. This person came over and met my brother once, even though there's mouth running. His old man, or whoever the fuck he is, came over the first day I was here. Maybe second. I do believe it was the second. It was the first day I was here. Right after I landed, I think it was. It may have been like within 24 hours. It may have been exactly as I got here. I'll have to look. Either way, testing me around my little brother Christopher. They're playing around. We've been living here 30 years. This is the same person, the long-haired black chick, or long black-haired white girl, and some other people fucking associated, even 15 years ago. I was around 15 years ago, and they started shit at the local bars around Palmer Park and Powers here. And pretty damn sure, because I went to 2 to 3 different bars, I've been across their shit. Put it that way. The actions of what they did triggered in my head even from 15 years ago is so strong. So, I'm going back to Columbus. There better not be another fucking contact whatsoever, influence, or anything else. Or I'm going to kill a motherfucker. lawfully. I've already talked to counselors and people, and hey, they don't want to stop with doing harm to myself, then I guess I'll go ahead and make the evidence and prove it and just carry on with it. I'm done. It ain't just them, though, it's the whole block. Playing drug dealer and ringleader, utilizing me as their human target, human slave. Basically no different than the human tactics of human trafficking to dominate over one to cause them to be victimized. Said in the last video, and I walked around and I was talking about it, happened at 11:15 a.m. here, Colorado Springs time. And I laid there for a minute. Go ahead and try to remember shit. And in that video, there was shit that was being relayed from something I did here in the garage a couple of hours before. Like they have more cameras and security shit. Now, somebody just put a cap over top of this light. It was exposed earlier. It was exposed the whole time I was here. Except for today. Kind of strange. Anyways, with that being said, relaying shit in my sleep. There is also 2 Kool-Aid packs, like, what do you call it? Like, if you don't use me, some shit like that. It was a really sick dream, too. Something about a flood, a jailhouse, me running off. There's other weird shit. It was really, really, really weird. And the vocal verbalization, hypnotic, suggestive tones that was happening, I can barely remember. They're starting to come back. But they was harsh. They had lots of intent to them. Understanding forensic psychological tooling is exactly what they're utilizing. Who taught them? Or, well, then, who taught? I mean, a lot of people might know how to hypnotic suggest shit to people in their sleep. How common is that? As I ask a psychologist. And in a sense, given an answer of unknown, depending on what this hypnotic suggestion and how tooled it is. If it's really experienced, then not very many people. If it's inexperienced, even myself, I wouldn't completely know how to do it. It's the same thing that happened to me in New York City after trying to be recuperating when I first got out there in 2005, and the police intervened on the long-haired, black-haired, or the long black-haired white chick, and 7 other of her fucking friends standing around me, dominating, utilizing physical body while I'm asleep, trying to interfere with me. You're nothing but shit to us, is what they was doing. The cops intervened and told them, we catch you back. I'll tell you what's going to happen here is I'm going to take your names, get your identity, and I catch you back around him, I'm going to write you out a stalking fucking ticket. They're associated the same thing, because I was out from Colorado Springs in New York City, New York. We're off of 7270 Watonga Court, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80915. Precise location. There's more to this, and I need to add to it, but just for the dream itself, very assaultive situation is the way I put it. Once again, I have a nasty mother involved with that. And I haven't had a situation as such as what happened in a long, long, long ass time. Oh, pop goes the weasel. Yeah, English wants to keep running his mouth. There's also people down the street. His daddy, we own this bitch. Messages being relayed in New York City about the metal pole, a built wall. This isn't an original wall to this garage. It used to be a hallway. And other people were talking about, they keep iterating something about a garage wall, a built wall, English. I didn't 100% know what it meant. We all understood they're utilizing some type of psychological, non-verbal, communicatable force with it, or even force verbalating it, but without just the verbalization, the power and the insinuation of interfering with me in public, maybe trying to get me to be like senile or confused and maybe disoriented with some type of conjured up ideal. Like, you're okay, you're in Kansas, Toto, or you're someplace that you're, maybe trying to make incompetency, making a person feel that they're in a different place, a different time than that they are, like gaslighting. This is a full-fledged organized situation. It's not just a few people. It's not, and when I mean a few, we're talking 50 to 100 people, associates, families, their family members, trying to play Mexican mafia when it's Mexican intel, and playing around with family rights. Well, we had to raise you in our city, in our town, with our family giving you value. So we're allowed to follow you all over the United States and make sure everything's okay. And that value is honored, or that value is, whatever it is, attached to what they say they're basically owning as their values present around me, living around me, because that's the way life works. We gave you something, we want something in return. I didn't ask for it. Even if I did, it wouldn't, just as a psychologist said, even if you did get help from somebody and they tried to say, hey, since they helped you, they want to control you, it wouldn't be right for them to interstate stalk. It wouldn't even be right for them to leave their house and go out in the community and run their mouth. I've had police here 15, 20 years ago, is the way I'll put it. It's not 100% precise. 20 years ago, it's precise as far as being maximum length. It was even a little less. Told my parents at their house they had nothing to do with me outside the house. They catch them again. Basically, they know that they've been utilizing also other forces besides them physical selves of being and kept an eye on me. Same thing with my younger brother, William. This has also been since 1995. They was out in the community when I was a teenager filming me from a distance. Bank parking lots, store parking lots, all the rest. Nobody has evidence, no criminal charges, no nothing. Somebody else's little black book diary type of shit. For what the psychologist said, because I told him my Uncle Roger back in 1989, 88, was filming me, and they understood, wait a minute, that's pretty fucking wealthy to have a camera, a camcorder back in them days. That's pretty fucking wealthy. It made it just seem strange that, all how life, I had explained life of being poor or whatever, but there was wealth back then. But either way. And what was it? What they call it? Chronological recording? For what? Where's the tapes at? You chronologically, and I do believe they asked my mother and my biological father at Twin Valley Mental Health Institution, Columbus, Ohio. What's up? You accusing him of rape? Or and on top, have you been on his shoulders of whatever? And what type of forced domination? No. My biological father and my mother was told to leave their office. Scumbag pieces of shit. They don't want to listen. They just want to enforce. There's no hope there to get any help or recover with family values. It's a dominating, systematical assault, threat type of situation. Which, when I brought it to the attention of interstate stalking, federal offenses, and all the rest, yeah. Twin Valley was going to go to the fucking police with me, not just over my parents, but my life situation. Or at least, I won't say go to the police, but they'd be able to turn evidence over to the police. My story, what they got. That way it jives. It has first place, second place. No different than the, Netflix story, Unbelievable. Exactly what these guys like to mind insult with. Including the neighbors, and I'm going to 1,000,000,000% say English. The long-haired, black-haired chick, or the long, black-haired, white chick, Liberty Place Apartments, loves talking about, I like a 6-inch dick. Sexual harassment, if not, basically, it isn't assault, but it's harassment, as I'm walking by her fucking apartment complex. relaying shit about English. There's also other individuals in that apartment complex. They're all social, kind of identifiable characteristic and traits on top of social organized group together, being together as a group, knowing each other, being in contact with each other, and basically more than likely being out in public with each other. So with that being said, me being laughed at, you're a mental retard to everybody. My family trying to make it out we don't need his shit around, but at the same time being questioned why you interstate stalking. We don't have the evidence of that to prosecute you just yet, but when it does come out to it, anybody that's associated to you, figuring out what's running, because they test trialed shit in New York in 2015 and resolved a lot of my headache all of a sudden. And I was told once it starts out that I'll be able to report things that they're telling me is A-okay to do, and I'm 100% told by New York City law. I don't know Colorado Springs law anymore, but by New York City law, and these people are saying this is just basic common sense law everywhere across the United States. But to be able to report it while I'm being confused, threatened, dominated, that no, it's okay, we know our rights, we know what we're doing, you better not intervene with us or else. We'll make you look psychotic, we'll utilize the corrupt family, friends, associated police that we got recruited. If you have human trafficking, drug trafficking, who do you think, especially in the maximums involved with you? I hate to say it, but it's the police. Let's play the 9 out of 10 times they're being paid off. That is a cartel type of situation. So, hey, they don't need to just be paid off of, hey, let me slip through and pay for my drugs, or let me slip through with my drugs and I'll give you money. But hey, how about you do a job for me next? Here, let me recruit you. Let's be social, even if it ain't cash money. You can be involved with our team and have fun and take the asset, which was explained by Twin Valley is an asset, social value, rather than it being cash. Same thing with Liberty Place apartment, and threatening me every day that I walk by there. Making some type of contact. Our family values. Does it look like I got a fucking family? Does it look like my family's here? Does it look like we've been family? Don't give a fuck? I don't give a fuck either. Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and end this video. That should be good enough for myself and anybody else in my own records. Interstate stalking at the least, with psychological, emotional, and sexual harassment at the least. At the least. Organized crime. It leading back into being associated with everything else. It's basically human trafficking. And like I said, in New York City, New York, the same incident, they had Colorado IDs on a fucking subway train while I was asleep. Sexually invoking me in my sleep, sexually harassing, tones, verbalations, laughing at it, getting as if, also condemning after being able to affect me, that it's bad, or, hey, you've done something wrong, when it was provoked on. And the police on that train said they'd get back to me even though I was transient, and I haven't. But if not anything else comes out, if the charges were filed for sexual harassment, they'd let me know. Further investigations on top, because they had Colorado IDs, and I was from Colorado. Kind of coincidental, interstate stalking. Some real sick motherfuckers, organized too. Oh, we own your ass. Our family, we raised you, we got a right to you. I'm fucking over the age of 18. You ain't telling me that. I'm not a dependent. I'm an independent. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thanks. Peace. Bye. I'm like, thanks. That's psycho. I can tell by the way you talk. Fuck yeah. Gaslighting has created insanity. Tactics of psychological assault. End in this video. Victimization. Victim blaming.